Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here with the launch of Season 3 in Modern Warfare 3 in Warzone, we are going to see our next major weapons update. This includes the launch of several new weapons that I'm sure are going to spice things up in the overall meta conversation, but also various different weapon buffs and nerfs, new aftermarket parts, and some of them honestly are basically brand new weapons in and of themselves. And so today we're going through the entirety of the Season 3 weapon update that we know of so far. Full patch notes are going to give us even more details on the exact weapon buffs and nerfs, various other changes they may be making to attachments or other things here and there. We'll be breaking those down on Wednesday, right as the patch notes drop. So be sure to stick it here for that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button and of course turning on those post notifications. And as we dive into all the weapon updates for Season 3's launch, be sure to drop a like on the video as well if you enjoy it. But initially, per usual with any new season, we're going to see a handful of new guns, completely new weapons release into the arsenal. Some of them we're going to see right away at launch. All of them are going to be free, just available through playing the game over time. The first of which is known as the FJX Horus. Now this is an SMG, although it's also kind of a pistol. In fact, according to all the data mine stuff that we have as of right now, it's still listed in the files as a pistol. They're just calling it an SMG. Now this is going to be available through the battle pass in Sector 8. So this is going to obviously be free for everyone in one of those sectors or one of those tiers. And it has 18 levels in total. They describe it as an ultra compact SMG with best in class CQC damage and mobility. So just simply based off their description here, it should technically have the best TTK in the super close range. I'd imagine maybe the first 5, 6, 7 meters. They also say versatility is the name of the game with this machine pistol SMG, a favorite of those who like to pack a punch on the run. This weapon has an incredible fire rate and class leading mobility, and handling helps mitigate the recoil control. This is also essentially the MP9 from previous Call of Duty games. If you thought it looked familiar, you'd be correct with that assumption there. Our next new weapon is one that personally I am very much so looking forward to because it's going to be very nostalgic and ideally very fun for spicing up the meta, and that is the MWIII sniper rifle. Now this is going to be another launch gun available through the battle pass as well. This one in total has 19 levels, and they say the single load railgun delivers a high damage payload with excellent velocity and penetration. An advanced form of sniper warfare, obviously hinting at the Advanced Warfare MWIII. This is what this is a remake of. The military operated rail sniper, or the MWIII, is a one-shot beast offering high damage with exceptional handling. Distance is an afterthought with this long-range and accurate sniper rifle with what might be the perfect combination of accuracy and damage. This weapon has single-round devastation with a reasonably rapid reload rate, but keep in mind, this description is just more of a broad one. Obviously, I'm sure you picked up with them saying it's a one-shot beast. We don't know for sure as of right now if that is indicating it's going to be a one-shot sniper in Warzone. I would certainly hope so, though, because if it's not, it's going to instantaneously become an obsolete sniper because it's just not going to be able to compete with the cat or with the stalker. I feel like at the very least, it has to be able to one-shot in its first damage range, and ideally at any range, just like the cat if it's going to be meant for long-range accurate sniping, right? And if that's the case, we definitely have a new contender in the long-range meta for maybe the best sniper in the game. So I'm really curious to see how they approach the balancing with this one, and if it does in fact compete with the other one-shot snipers, or if it's going to be an afterthought like the majority of the snipers in the game that just can't one-shot with reasonable velocity. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we've got a new melee weapon dropping at launch, again through the battle pass, this time Sector 15. This is the Gladiator. It's kind of like a shadow dagger. If you've played Counter-Strike, it basically just looks like that. There's going to be 6 levels on this, although those don't actually get you anything outside of the weapon camo challenges. Obviously, it's a melee, so there's no attachments for this one, but they say a compact, concealable punch knife that was initially used by gamblers and politicians. Close combat was never so quick and painful, with the Gladiator rivaling the Karambit for supreme mobility, handling, and damage potential. Cut straight to the bone with haste and ease, but ensure you're close enough to make those stabs count. It's just going to be a pretty basic melee weapon all things considered. And then lastly, we've got the BAL-27 assault rifle. Now this is going to be coming in the mid-season update, likely happening in early May, I would have to imagine. And currently the unlock for this is redacted, but more than likely it's going to be through a weekly challenge or a new battle pass sector, and we'll have a better idea of that with the mid-season update, obviously. But the BAL-27 is going to have 19 levels. They say this one is a bullpup prototype weapon designed to increase fire rate over time while its trigger is squeezed. The first 4 shots are slower to fire but highly accurate. Top loading with a reasonably rapid ammo swap, this fast-firing, future-proof assault rifle shreds at closer ranges, has moderate kick that drifts upwards, offers great default reticles, and comes with a 60-round magazine once you've leveled it up, doubling the available ammo between reloads. Obviously, again, another advanced warfare throwback weapon, so if you played AW back in the day, I'm sure you know all about the BAL-27 Obsidian Steed just being crazy OP. I have to imagine they're going to do some kind of bundle or blueprint that looks similar to the Steed or has some kind of like callback to that blueprint in specific. We'll have to wait and see, but I expect it to be a decent rival to maybe the Ram 7 or the BP-50. Now, in addition to all these straight up brand new weapons that we're going to see with Season 3, we also have a bunch of new aftermarket parts coming as well. Some very interesting ones, I might add. So these are going to become available week to week through various different unlock challenges, starting with the Jack Cutthroat. This is going to have compatibility with various different rifles and SMGs like the MCW, the MTZ, the M4 from MWIII, the AMR-9, so on and so forth. They say this 3D printed stock provides an unrivaled combination of speed and stability while aiming down sights. Could be an actual meta attachment. We'll have to wait and see. There's the Revenger kit for the BP-50. This conversion kit turns the BP-50 into a CQC Legend, a 9mm caliber conversion with shortened receiver and high capacity ammo. Basically just means that it's going to be a BP-50 but as an SMG. We've got the Jack Jawbreaker for the KV Broadside, which actually turns it into a fully automatic battle rifle. That could be very interesting. We've got the Jack Shadow Titan kit for the Bruin MK9, and this turns it into a compact, integrally suppressed light support weapon chambered in 300 blackout. So kind of just changing up the overall damage and feel and behavior of the Bruin. We also have the Jack Patriot for the M16 from MWIII. It converts the M16 into a fully automatic rifle with a heavy ported barrel built to provide superior recoil control and firing aim stability. Will this actually make the M16 somewhat usable, unlike the M16 has been for the past 2 years, basically? We're gonna have to wait and see, but I've got my eye on that one. However, I've got my eyes even more on the Warden's aftermarket part, because this is available for the Lockwood MK2 from MWIII. Relive the glory days, stir up the hornet's nest, and take down your enemies, leaving no loose ends with these museum-worthy akimbo lever action shotguns. Yes, the Warden's aftermarket part changes the Lockwood MK2, a largely useless quickscope sort of cowboy rifle, into the akimbo model 1887 shotguns that got their fame back in MWIII 2009. I think that's going to be absolutely awesome to run around with. Next up, we've got the Jack Atlas kit for the AMR-9. Converts the AMR-9 into an extremely lethal and accurate 5-round burst 5.56 carbine rifle. 5-round burst, I think, is going to kind of limit it some, but we'll have to see what that damage is like, because 5.56 on an AMR-9, a gun that already really excels in the mid-range, could be pretty crazy. And then lastly, we've got another wild one, although they say that this one has a redacted unlock, so maybe it's going to be a battle pass sector. It's called the Photonic Charge Barrel, and it's available for the Moors. This hyper-advanced barrel is more than simply a barrel. Holding the trigger charges the rifle, and releasing fires a single high-power energy projectile. It's basically turning the Moors into a laser gun. It's gonna be nuts. I don't envision it being crazy unless it can like one-shot through full plates in Warzone or something, but it is gonna be like a full-on laser or energy weapon that has a slow fire rate, but could deal some pretty lethal damage, all things considered. So the aftermarket parts for Season 3 definitely are pretty exciting, I would say. Now, outside of the new weapons and the new aftermarket parts slash half of them actually basically being new weapons, we also know we're going to see a major meta update with the launch of Season 3. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, the patch notes once the update goes out are going to have all the details with all the various buffs and nerfs. But there are a few things to keep our eyes on as of now, just based off of context clues and how they usually go about certain updates after, weapons have had a prolonged stay atop the meta. One thing that's kind of a rinse and repeat conversation topic whenever we preview meta updates is the fact that the devs stated back at Warzone's launch they wanted MWIII guns to be competitive. They wanted to change the feel of them to be more like MWIII guns with super low recoil, low visual shake and bounce and noise there, kind of just very laser beam like. They've yet to do that. I'm going to continue to bring it up because I'm going to hold them to that promise. And I will say them adding in new aftermarket parts specifically for some MWIII guns maybe means we're going to have some more, attention shown towards those weapons in general, maybe as a whole class or some weapons individually. And we actually finally start to see some buffs there just to diversify the meta a little bit. Also, as I sort of talked about earlier with the MWIII launching, adding more competition to the sniper meta right now. It really just is the cat or the stalker. All the other one-shot snipers that you can use from MWIII with explosive ammo are not worth using whatsoever. Explosive ammo kills the velocity. Everything else can't one-hit, so you have two snipers. Basically a non-existent meta there. There's no competition really, so adding in the MWIIIs certainly should help out there if it can one-shot, but I'd also like to see other one-shot options so it's not just the same two snipers spammed in every single game. Another weapon that's been atop the meta for a long time now is the MWIII. They've nerfed it multiple times. It doesn't matter. The thing is still the best rifle in the close to mid-range, and it's not bad over long range. There needs to be a serious nerf to the MWIII if they want really any competition in the rifle meta in general. And then also in the close range meta, the AMR-9, the HMR-9, then the RAM-9 been dominant for a long time as well. Even with the recent nerfs to the RAM-9, it's still up there towards the best of the best, and it's absolutely a top 3 SMG still. The HRM-9 is ridiculously good, especially with its sprint to fire, and nothing can compete with the AMR-9's TTK. So again, for the sake of meta diversity, some changes have to be made to those three if you want more competition within the SMG category and just the close range meta in general. So those are a couple of weapons that I've got my eyes on personally. But all that being said, that's everything we know about the Season 3 weapon update slash the Season 3 meta update coming to Warzone and MWIII later this week. Of course, as the patch notes go out, as we see all the new updates and changes, I'll have you guys covered with all the need to know info right as it happens. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications to stay up to date. And if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.